Alright guys, Travis with TCustomz Productions, TCustomz.com, back with part 2 of the Piano Tips for Beatmakers series. Seemed like a number of you enjoyed the first part of the series. I was hoping for some more comments and input, future topics of what you want me to dig into as far as theory and chord progressions and other piano tips. But nonetheless, I wanted to continue to keep the series going. Maybe as we progress, you'll have some more questions and topics you'd like to dig into. As I mentioned in the last video, over 10 years ago, I took about 4 to 5 years of formal piano lessons. I went through a weekly curriculum, met up with my teacher once per week to evaluate my progress. I was going through and found my piano bag that has a lot of the books that I was studying. It has a lot of stuff, and I'm actually want to dig into some of these and just show you and give you some examples, maybe some books that might help you in some way. I know that all of you probably aren't looking to go that route and do like a formal lesson and formal training on everything. So take from what you will. I just want to share with you kind of my path and some of the various books and things that I've studied that kind of helped me develop my foundation to play keys and my music production. So this is more or less like a journal. This was a notebook that my teacher wanted me to have to basically keep track of all the progress, what I had on the list to practice that week, progress through. This was kind of nostalgic for me to pull this out and see this. I hadn't seen this and actually looked in this for a while. You know, like I mentioned in the last video, a lot of what I studied early on was all foundational scales, keys, chord progressions. Playing songs obviously is going to help you practice and kind of put some of those things that you're learning into practice. So the primary lesson book, the general lesson book that I studied was this Alfred's Basic Adult Piano Course. This is lesson book 1. I think there's like 3 or 4 in the series. And there's a lot of other ones out there. If you have no knowledge and you're looking to start from ground zero and try to pick up some of the more information that I kind of brushed past in the last video and get yourself equipped with some of the basics that are going to help you to play keys, I'll recommend something like this. And early on, because I had already been playing piano a little bit before I started formal lessons, so I'd already been playing probably a couple years prior to that. And so a lot of this stuff in this first book anyway was stuff that I pretty much already knew. There was a lot of overlap in this, but then there were also some things that I didn't know that kind of filled in the gaps, stepping you through various scales, chords. And then once you learn the certain chords, it then incorporates those into a piece that you can play. Just something really simple in this first book. In the back, it covers the major and minor keys that were covered in this book. Something like this is good because you're learning. It has these side notes and things it's teaching you along the way, and then you also are able to apply it with particular pieces. Let me emphasize this because some of you might say, well, I don't want to sit down and read and play sheet music. That's fine. I personally did when I started this out, but what I will tell you is I don't sit down and play sheet music too often, but there's skills and knowledge in here that as you learn, as you practice, you're going to absorb and kind of develop into your normal skill set, and that's going to carry on with you. When I was playing a lot of stuff, I was reading sheet music and I was playing a lot of formal pieces, things I was learning here was helping me directly in the pieces that I was creating for myself, the beats, the instrumentals, the chord progressions, the things I was working on. You know, even if you're just learning something basic starting out, you're learning how to play Mary Had a Little Lamb or something. Just getting your hands in motion to play certain things in chords, and then you start to learn, okay, that's in a major. Now what if we take Mary Had a Little Lamb and put it down in a minor key? While that might sound very silly or very simple for what you want to try to play and learn, learning those little things kind of accumulate. Really, to develop any kind of skill set you want to be great at, it's going to take time and effort. All these little things like this, these little tips that I learned from a lesson book like this just builds up. It helps me later on as I'm starting to learn more advanced techniques. So just to pull out a few more of these books just to kind of give you an idea of some other things that I was using in my lesson. Something like this is good. I feel like it can help you in a lot of different ways. It can help you to strengthen your fingers, especially when you start doing more complex runs and chord progressions. You may need stronger hands to do some of those type of things. Something like an exercise book like this, there are a lot of stuff you can find out on the web, and it goes for anything. I don't know if I already mentioned, but there's a lot of resources out there. Even if you don't want to buy a formal lesson book, you can probably get the digital downloads, or you can find a lot of free other resources that can kind of facilitate something like a formal lesson or a curriculum that you can kind of follow. This exercise book would have something like so you start to practice these little exercises, doing them time and time again. You condition your fingers to get stronger. Also, if you're using like full scales to do finger exercises, that's also going to get the habit when you're playing in those specific keys of what notes that you're more than likely going to be playing for whatever kind of melodies and counter melodies that you're going to be coming up with. Harmony lessons was something I picked up later on, but this is a very foundational book as well. Refreshing on all your keys, scales, time signatures, circle of fifths like I mentioned in the last video. As you get deeper into something like this, it has more complex theory and more advanced stuff. It's really going to make your writing process, coming up with tracks a lot easier for you. Where I mentioned I studied a lot of classical music. I was really into romantic. You see Chopin right here behind me. You may see some other busts. I got a Beethoven and a Bach. I was big on this, first lessons in Bach. It's very technical playing. They have nice sound, but they're also like practice pieces. Just give you a quick excerpt of something you might hear in this book. Probably familiar with this piece. While you might hear that and you say, I don't care about Bach, I don't care about playing classical music, and that's fine. You can definitely find other styles of pieces to play, but because these pieces are many times technical, require a little extra skill, a little extra effort, it's all practicing, and you're playing in the keys and chords that you would be playing. You know, I'm playing in G with this. I can take this same chord and turn it into a different progression and make it turn into a hip hop beat or turn it into an R&B track. So I look at the songbooks for me in two ways, because I enjoy the music also, but it's also practice. And a lot of the same skill and technique I can apply to the music that I'm working on. And you can even get a lot of following like people's piano and cover tutorials. I put up a couple in the past. A while ago I shot a video on stepping you through how to play Kush by Dr. Dre and Snoop. So following stuff like that also, especially if you get somebody who's kind of talking theory at the same time while they're showing you, those kind of videos can help out. So just to give you some examples, here were some other songbooks or advanced pieces. I used to play some relatively advanced stuff when I was practicing a lot. Some of the dates on this are like from 2005, 2006. I don't play and practice as often as I used to, but I know if I got back into this, if I got back into doing more or less a formal lesson over again, that stuff is gonna directly translate into music that I'm making, helping me come up with melodies, chord progressions, counter melodies, bass lines that I know a lot of people struggle with. Because once you understand the keys, you understand how everything is supposed to work together, you'll then know or have a better idea of what to play. I think that's pretty much it. There were some other songbooks in here as well. More classical music, more classical. I had some other just various like pop songs and stuff that I like to play. I just had that kind of filtered in there. I just wanted to step you guys inside of my music bag, some of the stuff that was in here. It's been a while since I've really gone through it in any extent. I hope this was helpful to some extent. Even if you don't want to take this exact route, maybe you can take some tips or some different books or things that I've shown to get a better idea of what might be better suited for you and your specific goals. I really want to keep this series going. So if you did enjoy this video, if you've made it this far, if you can click the thumbs up and you can write a comment below, let me know what you liked, what you didn't like, or what you would like more information on. That would be a great help to me keep more videos like this coming to you. I'll make sure to link the first video in this series below, as well as some other related videos. There will be links also where you can connect with me on social media. There's a lot of other free resources on the website too, free downloads, free sound kits, mixing and mastering, the list goes on, so feel free to check out the site also. Thanks again, and I will see you in the next one.